It is now 6:14. Uh-oh. Take a look at this. You know, Christine, when there are two of them, it's serious business on the way.
Gonna back off.
Yes.
Let them go.
Start to multiply. It's dangerous, right?
There's another joke in there somewhere.
Tomorrow is going to be a big day in northern Ohio as far as impacts of weather. It will not be the worst day that we have ever had, but we will have impacts, and it will be a difficult start to the day. I'm going to start with things, then Anthony actually gets to tell you the good news that's on the other side of this store. But let's start with the radar, because we do have some light snow that is coming down right now, especially areas east of Cleveland. This is a band that's been sitting out over the lake that is settling southward, very light so far. We're expecting this to start to pick up in some intensity and fill in as it starts to make its way farther and farther to the west. This is a live look for you at the ODOT Cam State Route 2 at East 305, and you can see in Willowick there may be the whisper of a flurry coming down, but for the most part we have no restrictions to visibility. The heavier snow arrives later on tonight, after midnight most likely. Otherwise we have a cloudy and quiet evening. Temperatures are in the 20s. Winter storm warnings for the counties you see in pink. That does include Medina, Cleveland, and Akron. Farther south, winter weather advisories in play. The warning, that's where we're anticipating on average the higher snow totals to add up. Farther south, not quite as much snow, but it will still be very impactful. That widespread snow will be here for the morning commute. Early, late, doesn't matter. It's going to be snowing. That will be reducing visibility for many of you. That's one complicating factor, but I think this is the intensity of snow as it comes down. This will be the kind of snow that our road crews will not be able to keep up. Let me say that one more time. They're out there. They're doing everything they can do, but they will not be able to keep up in most locations. Let's take a look at how this all comes together. National Designer hour-by-hour forecast. There's that little band that I just showed you. It's kind of hanging out with us right along the lakeshore tonight, and it'll probably start to perk up a little bit in the late night hours as we have an area of low pressure that's going to start to feed up into the Appalachians. So we kind of have two separate parts of this storm system that will be trying to phase together. In the early part of the night, they're trying to figure each other out and see what's going to happen. But by early morning, we'll start to really see this thing cranking up and starting to move east, so that by 4 a.m. you can see we have widespread snow across the area. This is when our snow accumulations will begin. Okay, so we're talking a quick accumulation, and don't forget we have our little bit of lake enhancement. So that lake band is going to sit right on the lakeshore and aim heavier snow, extra, as the kids like to say, a little extra snow out there toward Lorain, Erie, and Huron counties. If this is farther south, it will hit into western Cuyahoga County. So Cuyahoga County is kind of on the precipice right now of bad news, but I think for the most part, at least the going theory is that that band should stay west, at least initially. But by 6 and 7 a.m., we will start to see changes happening to the band as winds begin to turn. And once those winds make the turn, we will see that band swinging south and moving east. And so we start to open up heavy snow across the entire lakeshore area by 9 a.m. At the same time, we have pretty heavy snow coming down farther south. Not quite as intense, but enough that we're likely going to be seeing some heavier batches of snow. Notice how that lake band starts to wrap all the way down into Shelby, Mansfield, and down into Belleville. That will then pivot eastward as we start to get the winds really swinging around to a more northerly direction. The entire lakeshore getting painted with lake-enhanced snow, and bands beginning to form and push that snow farther to the south. We should start to see that break up late afternoon into the evening, and then we will transfer it over to more traditional multi-band lake effect snow in the primary and secondary snow belts. Our western counties will bear the brunt first. They get the extra snow while all of us are getting this heavy snow, and that will then start to spread east as the day goes on. But the morning is going to be really when the biggest impacts are felt. We'll likely get a very quick 1 to 3 inch general snowfall all across northern Ohio. But where there's extra, you're going to end up with 4 or 5 inches possibly on the ground by 7. Then it will continue, okay? So by noon, now we have 2 to 6 inches of snow on the ground, and it just keeps on coming. After 5, 6, 7 o'clock, that's where we're going to start to really transition over to that multi-band lake effect. And where bands persist, that's where we will end up having even heavier snow amounts. But for the most part, this is expected to go rather well with that one band west first that will then start to paint things farther east as the day goes on. Certainly one that's going to be interesting to watch through the day tomorrow. But that's the end of the cold and the snow, because Anthony gets to tell us the good news that's on the other side.
Yeah, that's right, Betsy. I don't know if you guys been keeping count, but it's been over 100 hours across northeast Ohio since we had temperatures above the freezing mark, and that seems more of a likelihood as we get closer to Monday afternoon. But folks, we still got a few more days to go of tracking temperatures well below average, which is 36. Climatologically speaking, this is the coldest part of the year. But we step into the mid-30s by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And Thursday, we're tracking some rain showers, but hey, we're tracking above average temperatures, low to mid-40s on the way with your 7-day Union Home Mortgage forecast. So warmer temperatures are just around the corner once we get beyond this threat of snow.